Hello everybody, my name is Ryan and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, thank you so much for joining me today. Today we are watching Best Wishes, Warmest Regards. It is the Schitt's Creek, I don't know if it's a documentary, it might be kind of like that. They're going to talk about the show and stuff like that. I am very excited to get into this and just see what exactly it's all about. I think I was told that I was absolutely dog hairs floating everywhere. Jesus. I think I was told that I would probably cry, so we love that. Everybody I think loves seeing me cry at this point, so what won't I cry at, I guess, is the real question here. Regardless, I am happy to indulge and watch this. I'm very, very excited, and yeah, I'm just curious to see what they have to say, what I'm going to learn about the show, things of that nature, but that's what we're doing today. As always, the full reaction for this will be up on my Patreon. The link for that's down below. And without any further ado, let's just jump right in to Best Wishes, Warmest Regards. Let's go.
A pop original series.
I'm so excited. I think I might be scared. Oh, last day of production of season 6. Wait, I think I'm already good.
I don't think there's been a single day over the past 7 years where I haven't thought about the show.
Guys,
I still don't think I've fully processed the fact that people are watching. And I don't think I ever want to. Because I think part of the joy of experiencing this has just been the fact that it has felt quite small. You feel the weight of people's expectations when you're writing a last season, and I was like, well, fortunately, we've already written it. Because, you know, when the New York Times is writing about your show and in such a positive way, it was like, what is going on here? It's insane.
oh, I love him.
Guess what? And that is it. Schitt's Creek has slowly become one of the most beloved sitcoms.
Oh, I'm gonna cry. It's okay.
4 Emmy nominations, the cast of this unlikely hit series is preparing to say goodbye.
Why are you ending this thing? This is like a perfect show with a perfect cast at the perfect time.
Guys. It is, but they ended it perfectly. They weren't just pushing it forward.
We get all our writers together and really just talk about what we want from our season and where we want our characters to end up this year, because it's a bigger conversation when you're talking about where
Wrapping
you
it
want
up.
your characters to end up.
Oh.
For that last episode is about the fans. If we've done our job okay, then I think we should be set up to wrap this show up in a really special way. To him with the idea of exploring what it would look like for a wealthy family to lose their money.
It was really quite simple. I mean, he just said, would you be interested in working with me on developing a TV?
So he was very legitimate in being scared.
What would happen on camera was still a bit of an unknown.
Just backstory for weeks. What? To the point where I was sort of like, Dad, can we just like move on? He was like, no, we can't move on until we know exactly who these people are.
Guys, it's a lot. Day 1 of 52. First day on set.
Say this morning, of course, is kind of monumental in a way because it's our very first shooting day of our very last season.
We have 14 episodes to wrap this shit up, so...
When we finally cast it, that was really when we realized, wow, we're onto something really good here.
Yeah.
To be a part of the presentation pilot.
She's always like a first choice. She was a first choice with the movies that Chris and I did. I mean, #1 name.
Sells, even if it sells, you know, I won't bug you about doing the role.
And then the show got bought, and we had to go back to her and say, remember that show that we shot that was 14 minutes? 13 episodes?
No, I don't think so. I'm kind of busy doing nothing.
She said yes. And the rest is history.
So stupid. Really, it's lame to talk about not wanting to do it at the beginning. Because how stupid would I have been not to have done it?
That's the truth.
Your father and I are going to meet for a celebratory lunch when he's done at the bank.
Alexis was a character that we had
Alexis!
a hard time casting. We must have seen.
Yeah, she probably would be hard to cast.
Leading up to that point had not been going great. Feeling rusty? Yes. I hadn't worked in over 2 years. The
Wow.
universe was really screaming in my ear, like, this is not for you.
And she wasn't really made up, and she had a bun in her hair, and she walked in with this sort of casual nonchalance. Wow. And I called my dad after the audition, and I said, I think we have something here.
I love her.
No. My life just changed in that.
She did Alexis so brilliantly.
Dustin Mulligan, a friend of mine, you know, we sort of knew each other through the Canadian circles in LA. His name was Dan Levy. And in my head, I was like, whoa, am I about to get offered a role? And then it was like, for you to audition for this role. And I was like, okay. Just relax. If it's a heart attack, you're way too far from the hospital to make it through the night.
What?
Kidding.
The time I was getting like audition anxiety to the point of like if I walked in an audition room I would break out in hives, like full body
Oh my god.
stage, and I'm like, I can't audition anymore. I'll put myself on tape, and he dropped me. And that's fair. But then my Canadian agent kept me, and she's like, just go in. They're Canadian. They're nice.
Aww.
This is so dumb, and I hope I didn't do this. I hope this is like a dream that didn't actually happen. I just remember rotary dialing an imaginary phone.
But it was a different version of Twyla.
She was very nerdy and introverted.
Oh my god.
Sadness to her.
We do manicures. Her salon is called Lucky Nail.
The transition between that and the Twyla that exists now is just such a sunnier
Yeah.
ray of sunshine.
Cheetah?
The day before I found out, I filled out an online application to stock the shelves at Petco, but you needed to operate a forklift. I thought that was a bad idea in general.
Hi, it's Patrick.
Oh,
I'm David Rose. I watched the first episode, and I remember being quite excited about it. So I was like, if I can trick myself into not wanting this too much, it will be to my benefit. Great.
Where's Roland?
Cast knew who they were, came in, and sat so firm in those roles.
I love Roland so much.
Yeah. First scene in the can.
Happy.
Yeah.
First scene.
I thought, oh, rich lady. I don't want to just look like a cliche rich lady. And so I went online and I found Daphne Guinness.
She came to me with some references. She was thinking of having this sort of accent.
It's even more vicious than Vivian getting trampled while honeymooning in Pamplona.
Pamplona.
The wigs weren't in it, and the vocabulary wasn't in it. You know, that's what I got to add.
I remember finding it all quite dazzling.
It works for fashion reasons. It works for hiding or revealing what I'm feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Likely 4 or 5. Oh yeah.
It is a lot of jewelry, Dan.
Yeah. Wardrobe is probably the most important element in storytelling outside of actually writing.
Mm-hmm.
People say so much about who we are and what we believe in and what we want and what we think of ourselves by the way that we dress.
Is what's different about Schitt's Creek. It's as though the clothing was thought about at the same time as the character development.
Yeah.
And I wanted people who were interested in fashion to be able to recognize pieces and say, like, okay, so this isn't just someone doing Zara, doing Balenciaga.
Then I realized it was the real deal, and I was like, oh, okay. you know, the respect.
McQueen dress for $300, and the price tag was on it, and it retails for much, much more than that.
I think the investment being put into wardrobe was a smart investment because that said so much.
Yeah, absolutely.
You had a whole visual story and a whole way of understanding the characters through the clothing.
The outfits, you become the person when you look in the mirror and you see, oh, that's who she is.
And I think vice versa, the clothes help inspire her in certain areas to just take that character into new and wonderful directions.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you, ladies and
Oh
gentlemen.
God, oh no, I can't handle this. Not the breakup.
And I probably did about 7 drafts. It's really hard to tell the story of a love story that in the end is still a love story. It ended because circumstance stood in their way, and that circumstance was their own growth, and that's a wonderful thing.
Mark.
I can't move to the Galapagos.
I'm gonna let you even if you try. I hope you know that I don't think I'm ever gonna find another woman who makes me feel the way that you do.
Because I'm crying.
Wow. Funny.
Oh no, it just hit me just now. I was like totally fine before.
And Eugene Levy was standing there with his arms open and his eyes full of tears and just said, Annie, and his voice broke. His chest like heave a little bit and I burst into tears. A sad Eugene Levy is, that's a heartbreaker.
Wow. I had a bunch of friends who would watch the show, and I thought, how is it going to be good?
And I got hooked.
It's like butter when they work together because they anticipate what the next person is going to do. That's pure chemistry. I'm sure they had that right when they first met each other. It is beautiful to watch.
You can tell they really love each other.
Guys, this is so emotional.
Percolating and crossing the border.
You would see really like prominent film critics on Twitter talking about it.
It was really a kind of grassroots word of mouth phenomenon.
I can't believe I just watched it now. Like, now that I've watched it, it's wild.
It takes people time to find things now, but if a show is creative enough, funny enough, caring enough, people start talking about it.
I was just telling everybody, I'd be filling up my car, I'd be like, have you seen Schitt's Creek? It's unbelievable.
It was very clear to all involved this was something that, as intended, was pushing the boundaries for what Canadian comedy could be.
Next step is to fold in the cheese.
Fold in the cheese. What does that mean?
What does that mean? What does fold in the cheese mean?
He folds it in.
The awareness for the show.
You fold it in. If you say fold it in one more time.
Schitt's Creek.
Schitt's Creek.
I want to take you home.
Oh, well, you can. They take the time to give you the moments between the lines, too. That's good.
Something wrong, David?
She plays my best friend Stevie Budd on Schitt's Creek.
When we go do our tours, the energy and kind of love.
Wow, that's incredible.
And they, I don't know, they bring all this love that they feel they've gotten from the show and they bring it to us like 1,000-fold.
It's hard to describe how passionate these people are about the show.
Love and there's empathy, and I can't think of another show that does that.
All these shots of the scenes is making me so upset in like the best way, but oh my God.
Heartbreaking, crying, and just loving every aspect of it.
You see a family learn
All
more.
of the people that they're just getting to talk about it in this is wild.
I think time is going to be very, very good to this show. And it already has been. Just wish it would go longer.
Great female character who becomes a gay icon. She's over the top. She's always dressed up. She's self-involved. Nothing.
Night of 1,000 Moiras.
1,000 Moiras.
That's incredible.
To the newest and greatest gay icon, Moira Rose.
This is incredible.
Is that Moira actually does have a heart of gold, and she actually has real substance, and so she feels like a very modern version of a gay icon.
I think the LGBT community has responded so well to Schitt's Creek because it isn't questioned. It isn't a big deal.
Yeah.
So great.
I do drink red
I like
wine.
the wine, not the label.
I like the wine and not the label. Does that make sense?
I remember reading that and texting Dan and just being like, I fucking love this because it so eloquently and naturally within the scene without it being preachy or anything.
A guy who said that he used the wine metaphor to come out to his family. That's a pretty amazing thing. That's something you don't think about when you are sitting down to write a television show.
That it's better to do a show where there is no homophobia than to do a show that speaks to it and talks about how it does.
I remember the gays started really freaking out when Dan and Patrick's
course,
relationship,
that's
particularly
iconic.
this one scene where Patrick sings to him. And it's such a beautiful moment because
Yeah, it is.
gay relationships on screen and the way that they're often portrayed through a lens of tragedy or and so it felt like this moment where we got to see ourselves just being in love and being joyful.
When someone who has opposing beliefs sits down in front of their TV and watches, we're not teaching them a lesson. We're showing them what life could be like.
It's a major contribution from Dan and from the writers on the show and from the networks involved. Like, it's to put that positivity out there. That's the thing that we sort of, I think, have come to hang our hats on as a show.
What a day! Happy Pride!
Happy Pride! I mean, the fact that we had a network that supported us enough to photo in front of it, and it was in a really emotional thing. It's like, I've never seen anything like it, and I'm proud to have been a part of that. It's one of the first times I've ever seen that on the side of a building.
It's a group of moms with LGBTQ kids, and they have written you.
Oh, Jesus.
Thank you for
no.
everything that you've done for their kids and the community that you represent.
Why did...
And many of us are working to make the world a kinder, safer, more loving place for all LGBTQ people to live. This letter because we wanted to say thank you for the LGBTQ characters, relationships, and storylines that you've included in Schitt's Creek. Your commitment to represent love and tolerance in your show is so important to families like ours. About LGBTQ people and their relationships in an entertaining but respectful and positive manner sets a tone that is often met. New ways for queer viewers to see themselves represented, and in its own way, that is just as important as the battles we are still fighting. I sincerely believe that shows like Schitt's Creek will serve as a catalyst to help change the world into a kinder, safer, more loving place for all LGBTQ people to live. We will remain forever grateful. You've made a lot of mama bears happy, and as a result, you have a whole bunch of fans forever. With sincere gratitude and respect.
Okay. Well, can I see that?
I am very proud of the fact that this show sort of shines like a positive light out there into people's homes. Experiencing something deeper through the show is... You can't ask for anything better. It's wonderful.
Jesus.
No, I just realized that this is like the last time we're all gonna be here. Like this.
But it's incredible to have a job on a show that I love and that has affected the lives of other people in such a big way.
I've never felt love like I do. We're together. But knowing that you'll always be waiting, I can't read it. It hits me.
Oh.
We're ready.
We watch the car continue down the road and into the distance. End of series.
Guys, this is so rough.
I think it must have been a really hard decision to call this one quits, but I can't help thinking that it's somehow it's right.
Yeah. ending on your own terms the way you want it to end.
The friendships that I have made are so special, and I'm gonna be inviting myself over to Catherine O'Hara's house for dinner for years to come.
Ladies and gentlemen, the best sister ever. That's a series wrap, a Schitt's Creek wrap on Annie Murphy.
I am proud of all of the people that helped create her and
oh my god.
Oh, I didn't think this was gonna happen.
That's also a series wrap for Daniel Levy. Wow.
Yeah, you're both brilliant.
I feel like so grateful that I got to be part of something that I think is forever and is special and made it.
Oh my god. I did not think that I was gonna cry this much. I know everybody's like, oh, bring tissues. But I did not think it was gonna hit like this.
And the opportunity of having had a chance to work with Sarah and Daniel on this.
It's something that I'll never get the opportunity to do again, and I do not take for granted one day that I've been so lucky to be able to work with my family.
A lot. I'll miss a lot. I do this thing when I cry where I snort. I'll miss a lot of everything.
Come together in just a giant cry at some point.
The sad music isn't helping. At the cafe.
I feel good about the fact that this will end on a beautiful high.
I'm crying. That's terrible. Stop.
It's like a family. So it's hard to say goodbye.
And that town you passed through, it's not called Schittsville. It's called Schitt's Creek. And it's where we live.
Guys, I'm getting chills.
It's an amazing thing to have a chapter of our lives documented like this, and to be able to go back and look at it.
It's wild to see that that was a set, because of all the times that door is open and it's been like outside. Guys, you did this. You did this to me. Oh my god, what a just 10 out of 10 experience. I knew I was gonna cry because y'all told me I was going to, and at this point, you know, if I'm gonna cry, you're able to call that, and you did. I just didn't realize it was gonna be like that. I thought I was gonna be like, oh yeah, it's ending. This is kind of really like the last of it. Oh yeah, I'm gonna cry a little bit. I was like seconds away from snorting. Like Dan was saying. I was like, oh god, I need to like take a minute or something. That was rough, but like so great to watch. We only got like one scene of the actor who plays Roland, which like I guess I can't get too mad. But like a little. I can be a little because I love him and I would just want to hear him talk about Roland. But it's fine. I also loved hearing from everybody and seeing like the little videos of like their auditions or like their chemistry reads, that kind of thing. I loved seeing those, and the last table read was so upsetting. Dan couldn't even speak. Definitely a good watch for somebody who really love Schitt's Creek. I say it all the time, or at least I did in the very first episode of Schitt's Creek, was that Schitt's Creek was something that I had heard talked about all of the time and just never thought, like, I've never heard what it was about. I just said, you should watch Schitt's Creek, it's incredible. Schitt's Creek, Schitt's Creek, Schitt's Creek. But I never knew what it was really about, and I was always like, oh, I don't know that that's really my thing. Blah, 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 whatever. So I am so happy that it won a freaking poll on here and that I was able to watch it, because, like, I'm gonna go make my mom watch this with me. Like, this is gonna be, like, something that I just push on everybody that I've ever met ever, if they haven't seen it. It's so great, and I'll cry, like, every time just thinking about it, but just an incredible time. Thanks for watching this with me. As always, the full reaction will be up on my Patreon. The link for that's down below, and I'll see you guys back here with me for the next video. Bye, guys.